Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Out and about today, a bit of a sad day because it's the last time I'm going to be riding this, the Husqvarna Vitpilen 701, or is it the 701 Vitpilen? Anyway, just a bit of vloggage I thought for my final ride. If you're interested in this bike, stick around and stay tuned. The shove on this little bike is absolutely amazing. It's a grin-inducing machine, it really is. For a machine with only a single cylinder, it surprises me for some reason. I don't know why, because it is, of course, pretty much 700cc, so it's got plenty of go. But it's one of those bikes that just makes you happy, and that's the most important thing about motorcycling, isn't it? So of course the bike's not perfect by any means, as if you've seen my previous reviews in it, I did an initial impressions review. I'll stick a card up in the corner of the screen. That was when I first got the bike a few weeks back, and then more recently I did my in-depth review, and again I'll put a card up in a second on the screen, which gives you my sort of long-term findings and thoughts on the bike if you are interested in it. But just as a kind of a final summary on this, what don't I like about it? Well, here I am on a dual carriageway doing 67 miles an hour, and these mirrors, I don't know if you can see, but they are pretty blurry. Not only do they look horrible like Mickey Mouse ears, but at these sort of speeds they're pretty ineffective, which is a shame. I think I would change those out pretty quickly. Then the other thing I don't like about the bike is this little LCD display here. It's pretty clear actually, it contains everything I need, including a proper fuel gauge. And you can read it okay, I just don't like the design of it very much. I think if you're not going to have proper analogue clocks, which might be my preference on a fairly simple bike like this, then I think TFT is the way to go. But that's the only thing really that I don't like about it. I've enjoyed my time with it. It's a lively, agile little machine. I don't think I've ever seen another one in the wild. So pretty exclusive too. You're not going to bump into people around town that are riding another Vitpilen. Quick shifter is absolutely cracking on here. Handling is superb. Just a shame really I didn't get to borrow the bike in the height of summer, because this really is a back lane scratcher. I think you know, the main purpose of this sort of machine is just for fun, grin-inducing ride. Yes, you can use it for touring, yes you can use it for commuting and everything else, but actually it's just a fun bike to ride. Any surprises that I've had with the Vitpilen? Well, I suppose the biggest surprise for me was the riding position, and that you're laid quite flat on it, and it feels quite sporty. So although it's a naked bike and you got a wind blast, you're braced well against it because you're leant forward. I didn't expect it to be that sort of bike. It gives it a completely different character to what you imagine it's going to be. And I guess the other surprise is actually how much I liked it. When I first got the bike a few weeks back, I really wasn't looking forward to it that much. I didn't think I was going to like it, but actually it's grown on me. It's one of those bikes that is a grower. Bit of a hidden secret, I think, this one. Yeah, nice little machine. My only regret is that didn't get to borrow it in summer, but there we are. So what's this weather doing? This is looking a bit grim, isn't it? A few rain spots in the air. Let's give you a little wipe. Hope you can see okay. Look, that's one of those Peugeot 308s in front of me. It's one of these sort of new wave off-roady type things. In some strange way I quite like them. You have to admire the French car designers. I've never owned a Peugeot or a Citroën or a Renault. No, actually I'll tell you about, I did have a Renault years ago, a hot hatch, when I was a youngster. But as a proper sensible adult, I've never had a French car, and I don't know why not. Because these sort of designs are coming up with are quite quirky again, aren't they? Something about that I quite like. These days all cars, particularly these sort of SUV, whatever they are, what were people carriers, are now tending towards more off-roady looking cars. They all look sort of the same, don't they? But that one doesn't. Quite like it. Anyway, I digress. Let's nip by him. And then immediately slow down, because I think there's a speed camera up here. I don't want to fall foul of that. So this little ride I'm doing literally is my last ride on the Vitpilen, because I'm taking the bike back to Husqvarna UK. Unbelievable, it's just jumped that red light. Outrageous. Okay, now we can go. taxi driver as well, professional driver. So yeah, so I'm taking the bike back to Husqvarna UK that are based up on the sort of trading estate at Silverstone, which is just up near Buckingham Way. And this town I'm going into now is Aylesbury. So it's quite handy for me, being based in Great Bissenden. It's only about, I don't know, 35 miles, something like that. So it's quite a nice little run for an hour. It'd be better if it was a little bit warmer, but never mind. That's going to be one of those days on traffic lights. So there are a few UK headquarters of bike manufacturers based up at Silverstone. Not only Husqvarna, but Ducati are also up there, as are KTM. So if ever any of those manufacturers say, do you want to borrow our latest bike, I'm really quite chuffed, because it's quite straightforward to go and pick up the machines, and I usually leave one of my bikes there as well. Always amuses me when you get one of these bikes on long-term loan. I'm very lucky, because these guys have added me to their press fleet, so I can do this and do the reviews that I bring you. But I usually ride up on one of my bikes and leave my bike there for the duration. And of course, all these manufacturers don't want another bike to be seen in their press garage, as it were. So in the case of this Husqvarna I'm taking back, I left my Triumph Street Triple up there, so that whisked away from me, and the Husqvarna dust sheet quickly put over it and hidden around the back, so nobody saw a Triumph in their midst. And by the way, it's exactly the same when I go up to Triumph. If I don't ride a Triumph up there, then whatever bike I'm riding will be whisked away and hidden away out of sight. And you can sort of get that. It just amuses me for some reason. I've missed my street triple though. I'm recording this video at the back end of March, so we're heading towards spring, although it's not a very spring-like day today. We're starting to get 1 or 2 nicer days now, and that is exactly the sort of weather that my street triple is good for. And I guess that gets me to thinking, would I rather have this than the street triple? Well, the straight answer to that is no. I absolutely love my street triple. It is an old one now, 2012, so I've had it since brand new. So 6-7 years, well, 7 years old in July, and I have absolutely no intention of getting rid of it. I love that bike. Although the engine in this, a twin, is pretty smooth for a thumpy twin. Sorry, what am I talking about? Single. It's pretty smooth for a single, because of what Husky have done with balance shafts and things. Done a good job on making the single smooth. It's nowhere near as smooth as the triple in my street triple, and I shall enjoy riding that back a bit later. So I'm just weaving my way through Aylesbury now. I've almost popped out the other side, where I jump onto the A413 to Buckingham, which is one of the few nice roads around here. I'm always whinging about how I don't have any good roads to ride in this part of the southeast, and even if you could find them, they're always covered in traffic, so you can't have a lot of fun on bikes, unfortunately, in this part of the country. But once you get north of Aylesbury, there are 1 or 2 nice roads, and the 413 that takes you up to Buckingham is one of them. Great bike this for weaving your way through to the head of the queue at the traffic lights, because you know you're going to get away faster than any car. These particular traffic lights are a bit of a pain though. Well, it's still threatening to rain up here. I've had so many wet rides this season, it's untrue. If indeed it is the riding season yet. This year, I should say, 2019. Pretty much every time I've come out on the bike I've got wet. I've had lots of people ask me actually how I'm getting on with my my Oxford kit. This is the Mondial Advanced Range kit from Oxford. It's a laminated jacket, and I've got the matching trousers, of course, which basically means you don't need to wear a waterproof oversuit if it rains, because it's basically their version of Gore-Tex, one of these materials that keeps you dry but lets you breathe. I've had it now for, getting on for a year, and I've been very impressed with it. Again, I did a review on this jacket. I'll stick a card up in the corner so you can check that out. But by way of a sort of an update, I must say I'm still very happy with it. I've ridden it all year from that really hot summer we had last year. I did my Norway trip on it. Various rides in fact last year through the summer, which was a glorious summer, and then this winter that has been particularly wet, I've worn it as well, and I continue to be impressed with it. It's kept me warm and it's kept me dry. There have been some absolute deluges, and after a sort of a 3-hour ride in the rain about a month ago, I did get a little bit of moisture seeping through, I guess, the seam at my crotch, if I could use that word, So I did have a little bit of a damp backside, but that's the only time it's been defeated, and that was the trousers. But it was a particularly persistent and heavy deluge. But other than that, I've had absolutely no issues with it. I thoroughly recommend it for the price you pay, which I can't remember off the top of the head it is, but it's just a few £100. I think the jacket is 199, maybe 299, but it's certainly less than £300. And for a laminated jacket that effectively is Gore-Tex, it's not the trademark Gore-Tex, but an equivalent material, that is excellent, excellent value. And not only that, I think it looks quite understated in this grey as well. So if you're in the market for a good value waterproof suit, I'm never going back to the 3-layer things again. Heartily recommend this. Another thing that's great on days like this, where it's now just starting to spit, I'll just give you a little wipe. Hopefully you can see okay through the camera, but I've just got a layer of crud now on the visor, and that's where this, my little visor cap, comes in. This thing you see attached to my glove. Lots of people ask me about it, and I'm going to do a review on it, or I may have already done a review. If I have done a review, I'll stick up a link to that as well. But I intend to do one because lots of people ask me about it, and basically it's a great thing just for giving the old visor a wipe in conditions like this. Absolute clarity again on scuzzy days to ride. And yeah, I'll stick a link to my review if I've done it already in the corner, and if not, and even if I am, I'll put a link below as well to where you can get these on Amazon. If you're a daily rider and you ride in all weathers, then they are quite expensive, something like £37, which might seem like a lot for a little rubber gadget you put on your glove, but they're quite an innovative bit of kit the way they work. Again, I'll show you in my review exactly how that works. But yeah, recommend those to the house as well. Sadly quite busy on this road, so there's a white van up ahead, and now the rain's properly starting. Oh gosh, check out this cottage on the corner here. Now that is a thatch, isn't it? There's a few of those sort of cottages through on that little village. I'm not sure what that village is called. I am on the 413 now, heading towards Winslow. Some lovely little cottages in there. Sadly, the traffic persists, and whilst you can weave your way past them, there's always another vehicle in front, so it's hardly worth it half the time. Having said that, looks like the road might be opening up. I might have to say cheerio to this Hyundai any moment. Yeah, let's go for it. Enough time to get by the Merc as well, certainly have. Bikes like this are great when you've got a little bit of excess power that you can just do those overtakes so easily. I often say that I think these days that you don't need the litre bike to, ride on the road every day, or a 1200cc machine. It's always nice to have extra power, of course, but it's not strictly necessary. I think once you get to sort of 600cc, you've got all the power you need. In fact, probably even less than that. I rarely get caught out on my 250, my little Honda, in fact. Oh look, we're stuck behind a white van, excellent. But on the little Honda with its 250cc engine, I haven't got quite enough poke to make a quick overtake like I just did. If I was behind this van on the Honda, I'd be stuck behind the van. But here, quick check behind, all clear. You just got loads of excess power to squirt past. Now you're not seeing this road in its best, but you can see what I mean by it being a nice road. Nice open approaches, you can see what's coming. Some open bends, some nice undulations. On a summer's day, or a weekend morning before everybody's up. Great road to ride, this one. Okay, time to dispatch the Vectra. So here's another lovely little place you come through on your way up to Silverstone from my area. This is the little market town of Winslow. Some beautiful buildings here if you're into the architecture. Look at this place here, presumably some sort of manor house. Lovely little spot. Again, if it looks nice this time of year, then imagine it in the summer. Nice little pub market setting up by the looks of it. That's what makes a town, by the way, just in case you didn't know. If there's a regular market, it qualifies as a town. Otherwise it's a village or a settlement or some other thing. There's always a lot of debate about what makes a town versus a city, but that is one of the defining characters. And of course a city has to have a cathedral. Although there are one or two exceptions of cities in this country that have been granted city status that don't have a cathedral. One that leaps to mind is Milton Keynes. That's a city, no cathedral there. And that's where the definitions break down and where all the arguments start. Anyway, I digress. Still enjoying this A413. Love these sweepy bends. Glad to say the rain looks like it's easing off as well. Excellent. I'm just hoping that I'm going to be able to make it to Silverstone on this tank of fuel. I've got 2 blocks of fuel left on the fuel gauge. I'm glad, even though I don't like this indicator, it does have has a little fuel gauge. So I've got 2 blocks left, and it was 2 blocks when I left home, and that was about 20 miles ago. So quite impressed with that. I must say, overall I've been pretty impressed with the range out of the little Vitpilen. It does seem a pretty frugal bike. To my shame, I haven't worked out what the actual range is out of a tank full, but I think I'm getting a good 170, 180 miles, like that, something like that. So for such a performant bike, it's pretty economic to run, I think. Cheap to insure as well. Again, if you go back to my long-term review, then I do go through the cost of ownership in that, and I got an insurance quote for the bike, which turned out to be very reasonable as well. So frugal bike all round to run. Oh, look at this traffic again. Always stops play. And this is the middle of the day on a Wednesday, for goodness sake. Why isn't everybody at work? Sun's properly out now, blue sky and everything. Look at that, fantastic. Opportunity for a cheeky overtake. Nice. Okay, making some progress now as I wend my way up towards Silverstone. This is the next major town you come to, and this is the county town of Buckinghamshire. Can you guess? Yeah, Buckingham. Another lovely little town, and one assumes therefore it must have a market. Back to my previous point. Always busy here. It can be a bit of a pain to get through, so let's just sneak by a bit of traffic while I can. And we're starting to get quite close to Silverstone now, and this is sort of the part of the world where lots of the Formula 1 teams are based themselves. So up here on the left, if you keep going, is Brackley, which is who's based there? I'm trying to think. Red Bull, isn't it? Yeah, they're at Brackley. And many of the Formula 1 teams are all based around this general area. Silverstone, of course, being the home of British Formula 1, as well as MotoGP. And lots of other stuff besides. Oh, come on, traffic. Just like this on a Wednesday lunchtime, imagine what it must be like on a Friday knocking off time. There's a little tea room there, I've always fancied the look of. The Luby Lou's tea room. My sort of place. So, once you're through Buckingham, you can take a little cheeky right-hander. You end up coming down this dead straight road. It's quite bumpy, this road as well, but it's great fun to fly down. And this is the road that leads you to one of England's most famous private schools. Well, it's private in that you have to pay to go there, but they call them public schools, don't they? I never quite understood why they call them public schools, but clearly they're private. Anyway, up ahead you can see that building, I hope. That's the gate to Stowe School, and this is Stowe. And of course that school gives its name to one of the famous corners on the Silverstone circuit, Stowe Corner, which isn't that far away now. So my time on Little Husky has almost come to an end. So a couple of miles on from Stowe School, and here we are at Silverstone circuit. You just see the back of the grandstands there and the big wing on the main hangar straight, just as the heavens are starting to open again. Typical. Might have to have a bit of shelter at Husqvarna just while this shower passes. But yeah, the hallowed turf, the home of British motor racing and MotoGP Silverstone. Looking a lot emptier than it normally is when I come down these ways from here on an event. These roads get absolutely snarled. This is all car parking normally, the British Grand Prix. Anyway, there we have it. That's it. My final ride on the Husqvarna Vitpilen. Very much enjoyed having the bike. Thanks very much to Husqvarna for letting me borrow it. If you haven't seen my other videos on the bike, then Do go and check them out. First Impressions review, where I go through all the specs and things like that. One or two other videos as well as my in-depth review, where I go through cost of ownership and everything I've learnt about this bike. Not just the good points, but the bad points too. Definitely worth checking that out if you're in the market for one of these. Alright, this is where Husqvarna lives in the UK at least. Let's go and see if I can blow a cup of tea off them. Alright, there we go, that's it for now then. Time to give this little puppy back. Hope you've enjoyed that little vlog video. I haven't done a straightforward vlog for a while, so just a little bonus outside of my Monday, Thursday schedule for you. Alright, that's it for now. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Till then, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio. My baby's back now, we're talking. Right, let's see how this feels after the Vitpilen. Oh, it feels and sounds nice. Oh yes. Welcome home, baby.